Welcome to Kansas Ag Report with your host, Brian Hallman.
Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Brian Hallman, and here's our lineup for today's show. In Ag News, we'll take a look at local and national headlines affecting Kansas farmers. In our Ag Feature, we talk with Susan Metzger from KDA, and she'll talk about next week's Governor's Conference on Water. And inside Kansas Ag, Kansas Soybean talks big data, and Kansas Wheat talks about the GMO conference. And in news you need to know, we get our weekly update from the Kansas Livestock Association, look back at last week's market activity with the guys from Paragon, and we'll let you know about important events coming up around the state of Kansas. Glad you could join us.
Closed captioning brought to you by Dick Edwards in Manhattan, selling America's #1 truck, the Ford F-150, for over 30 years. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. kansassoybeans.org.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Dick Edwards Auto Plaza in Junction City, home of this year's Motor Trend Truck of the Year, Ram Truck. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Here's our national headlines for this week in Ag News. Senate leadership has agreed on a deal to restore $3 billion in cuts to the crop insurance program, following an agreement by the House leadership to do the same. Senate Agricultural Committee Chair Pat Roberts says he is pleased that the leadership has listened to the House and Senate Ag Committee concerns and agreed to restore those funds. Although the cuts are still included in the budget bill, leaders have promised to reverse the provision in the upcoming omnibus spending bill. Kellogg's company announced its plans to build on its commitment to animal welfare by sourcing only cage-free eggs for its foods and eliminating gestation stalls from its pork supply chain by the end of 2025. Kellogg says it will also consider the 5 freedoms of animal welfare, an internationally recognized set of humane treatment principles, as part of its process to continuously improve its supply chain in the future. Kellogg's has already reduced its use of eggs from caged hens and Morningstar Farm products by 20 million eggs since 2007 and is committed to switch 1 million more cage-free eggs by the end of 2016. Beginning farmers now have a new interactive website for choosing USDA programs to help them get started. Deputy Agricultural Secretary Krista Harden says it's really exciting for us to be able to offer this kind of information, literally at your fingertips for folks interested in agriculture. Harden goes on to say there's no replacement for face-to-face meetings, but many people wanted a place to start, and she says this is it. The new web tool was designed for new farmers, young farmers, women in ag, veterans, and farms in transition. And in local news, China says it will resume imports of pork from more than a dozen U.S. plants and warehouses. China banned pork from these facilities after it found traces of growth hormone in some shipments more than a year ago. A USDA spokesperson says 6 processing plants and 8 cold storage facilities are involved. Those facilities have pledged not to process pork raised with hormones through the USDA programs. The USDA says the announcement will mean a significant boost in sales for American pork producers. Kansas will receive $1.3 million in federal matching funds for the Kansas Better Blends Initiative, a program to increase the availability of ethanol-blended fuels to Kansas motorists. The USDA Biofuel Infrastructure Partnership Grant will be administered by the Kansas Department of Agriculture and implemented by the Kansas Corn Commission through the KBBI. Kansas is one of 21 states receiving the funding. The grant will allow a coalition to begin a substantial effort to help fuel retailers offer choices for higher ethanol blends to their customers. The Kansas Department of Agriculture has been awarded $319,000 through the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Specialty Crop Block Grant Program, designed to increase opportunities for specialty crops. KDA will redirect the grant award resources to projects throughout the state to help grow the specialty crop sector in Kansas. Kansas Secretary of Agriculture Jackie McClaskey says opportunities exist to grow the fruit and vegetable industry in Kansas and these grants will allow us to support entrepreneurs in the specialty crop industry. You can go to the KDA website at kda.org for a list of projects being funded by the grant. Up next in our Ag Feature, we talk with Susan Metzger from KDA, and we'll talk about the Governor's Conference on Water next week. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. Please stay tuned.
This segment brought to you by Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. GrassandGrain.com. A.B. Flint Motor Company, selling quality used cars and trucks in southeast Topeka at 32nd and South Kansas Avenue. Integrity Gun and Pawn, 2 Topeka locations specializing in firearms and training. igpawn.com to learn more. Kansas Weed Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for weeds. Online at kswheat.com.
Dick Edwards, 2 miles east of the town center mall on Highway 24.
I'm Dr. Frank Lyons, a physician here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. As one of the only standalone stem cell centers in the U.S., we use your stem cells as therapy for arthritis and some autoimmune diseases.
I'm Dr. Andrew Pope, here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Utilizing the latest technology under strict protocols, we're able to harvest your stem cells from your own fat to treat a variety of medical conditions. The best part about it is, it's a same-day surgical procedure and requires no general anesthesia.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
Dick Edwards, 2 miles east of the town center mall on Highway 24.
Thanks for staying with us this morning. We're in Manhattan at the Kansas Department of Agriculture, and we're with Susan Metzger, Deputy Secretary of Agriculture. Did I get that right?
It's Assistant.
Assistant Secretary of Agriculture for the state of Kansas. And we're going to talk about the Governor's Conference on Water, which is coming up next week. So, Susan, you and I have had a conversation about the Governor's Conference on Water for the last 3 years. I mean, we've kind of talked about it. How did we get to where we're going to be next week?
Great. So you're correct. This is going to be year number 4 for the Governor's Conference on the Future of Water in Kansas. And so 4 years ago, Governor Brownback wanted to make sure that there was an event that really elevated the conversation of water in the state. And so we used that as an opportunity to build on an annual conference that was already taking place. Historically, the conference was always technically focused. It was an opportunity to share research that was going on water resources, and we took this opportunity with Governor Brownback's lead to enhance that and add a day that was focused on policy and bigger statewide issues.
And does this kind of tie back into the governor's 50-year water plan?
It certainly has become the opportunity to talk about our successes year after year now in implementing the vision. And it was the opportunity to really receive the call to action to his administration 2 years ago to develop the vision.
Well, not only that, but we've talked about the Redmond project. I think about a year and a half ago, you and I talked about it. So, I mean, there's some things that the state's actually doing that will help us move farther down the road maybe than 50 years what the governor's hoping.
Absolutely, and this upcoming conference is going to be a great opportunity to really highlight some of those successes. Not only the dredging project kicking off at John Redmond, which you and I have talked about several times, but some new things that have happened this year as a result of the vision, such as the development of water conservation area policies, and even the implementation of a new conservation program in eastern Kansas to address nutrient impairments.
Tracy Streeter runs the water department, which is part of the Kansas Department of Agriculture. You know, his lead in doing some of this stuff, I think last year he and I talked, and he had done like 157 meetings or something like that out in small rural communities, just reminding people the importance of water here in the state.
Absolutely. So while this conference is an opportunity to bring close to 700 people together to talk about water in one venue, it doesn't replace the fact that Tracy Streeter and others have really hit the ground running, going out to local communities and keeping the issue of water in the forefront of people's minds and conversations through those 150 meetings this past year, and then prior to that up to 500 meetings that were held during the vision development process.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about maybe some of the water right issues, maybe some of the issues we're facing dealing with Nebraska as well. So you're watching Kansas Ag Report. We'll see you in just a minute.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life. Farmers Insurance, your best protection against the unexpected. Call Agent Dan Key at 785-408-5459. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. GrassandGrain.com. Blue River Traders, the finest selection of Western-style furniture for your home. BlueRiverTraders.com.
Thanks for staying with us. We're with Susan Metzger at the Kansas Department of Agriculture, and we're talking about the Governor's Conference on Water, which is next week, the 18th and 19th?
That's correct.
Exactly. So, okay, we kind of talked about how we got to where we're at. Let's talk about where we're going and maybe some of the things that is going to be discussed this next week.
Great. So the conference is broken into 2 days. The first day addresses policy and large statewide issues. We're going to have a great lineup of speakers. There's a speaker from the book called Influencer that talks about how you really promote and sustain large-scale change. And so he's really taking a look at our vision and thinking about how do you really sustain the motivation to make big differences in our water resources in Kansas in the future. Very excited about that presentation. We're also going to have somebody joining us from the state of Minnesota who helped put together a large regional water supply plan for the Red Rock Rural Water District, and it's something we're very interested in implementing here in Kansas. So some great lessons learned to come from him. The other thing on day one that's pretty exciting is a group called Watershed Plus that's out of Canada, and they work with water infrastructure and communities to bring arts into the way that we communicate about water. And they're going to share some really creative examples about how we can do that in Kansas.
Well, when we talk about state policy and things like that, we touched on it before we went to break, is our negotiations with Nebraska and some of the water right issues that we feel we have versus what they feel they have. So.
Right. So that's another positive outcome of the vision. There are several action items in the vision that talk about improving and protecting our water resources in the state compared to our neighbors. And about 18 months ago, we committed to changing the dialogue what we have historically been doing, which is more going to the courts, enforcing our compact, vying for our right for the water from Colorado and Nebraska, which gained us some things in the past. But looking into the future, we really wanted to change that. And so 18 months ago, we committed to having monthly meetings with our partners in Nebraska and Colorado. And we use those monthly forums to talk about a different way of doing business. And we have been very successful in that. With both Colorado and Nebraska, we have negotiated short-term plans for how we will stay in compliance with our two neighboring states and also improve the delivery of water resources to Kansas citizens.
The speed with which big data has entered the world of agriculture has many farmers spinning their wheels to catch up, yet what could be called the digital agriculture era is here to stay. The prospect of engaging with all that the big data label covers is daunting for farmers. Despite the staggering amount of information farms produce, the era is in its infancy, and a large number of people and institutions still are trying to figure out how to make it useful. The industry has identified 3 primary areas as the most likely ways to measure the trend's success: farm profitability, improved input use, and crop yield. In pursuit of those goals, dozens of technology providers have invested broadly in ag data. The 6 areas of investment are automation and precision, wireless solutions and connectivity, crop health, in-field monitoring, data management, and decision making. Farmers should understand the value they hope to receive from any big data partnerships and choose accordingly. They also must understand terms and conditions, especially regarding their ability to share the information with other trusted partners. You can learn more from a Focus on Soybean webcast at j.mp/soybigdata on the web.
While many Kansans are familiar with modern agriculture, the typical consumer is now 3 to 4 generations removed from the farm. In order to promote agricultural education and awareness, the Kansas Farm Food Connection is teaming up with Food for Thought to host a showing of the documentary Farmland with an expert panel in Manhattan. The event will be held on November 12th from 6:30 to 9:30 in Justin Hall on the Kansas State University campus. Panelists will include a Kansas farmer, a registered dietitian, and Dr. Kevin Folta, a University of Florida professor who is renowned for his public support of GM crops. Topics for the panelists will include genetic modification, chemical usage, life on the farm, and more. There will also be an open forum to take questions from the audience. Farmland is a documentary that showcases 6 farmers and ranchers from across the United States, describing their experiences and views on modern agriculture. The featured farmers include a cattle rancher, a poultry farmer, organic onion producer, corn and soybean farmer, and several more from all walks of agriculture. The event is free and open to the public and will include small hors d'oeuvre selection. Mark your calendars for November 12th at 6:30 p.m. and join us on the K-State campus to celebrate the modern farmer and to help us share the story of agriculture. For more information, please go to raisingkansas.com.
This segment brought to you by Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. A.B. Flint Motor Company, selling quality used cars and trucks in Southeast Topeka at 32nd and South Kansas Avenue. Integrity Gun and Pawn, 2 Topeka locations specializing in firearms and training. igpawn.com to learn more. Impact Satellite, your local authorized DirecTV dealer. Impact Satellite at 785-554-5974.
All the time. Monthly payments of $289, $189, or even $89. How is this done, you ask? Well, with large down payments, low mileage leases, and you must qualify for all rebates offered. Can we do this? Yes, we can. But we prefer to give you the straight talk, where we tell you all the information up front, and you make the decision on what vehicle and payment you want. You won't need bifocals to read the fine print here. Dick Edwards, serving the Manhattan, Fort Riley, and Junction City areas for over 30 years.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Tammy the Pro Home Plus is all about providing warmth and kindness to aging individuals who find it difficult to live on their own. Tammy's team is made up of experienced caregivers and nurses committed to the highest level of individualized care, focusing on health and well-being, and assisting with nutrition, grooming, medications, therapies, and daily living needs, all in a warm, caring environment. Call Tammy the Pro Home Plus today at 785-383-7094 to learn how we can help.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand. And I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
You hear it all the time. Monthly payments of $289, $189, or even $89. How is this done, you ask? Well, with large down payments, low mileage leases, and you must qualify for all rebates offered. Can we do this?
Yes, we can.
But we'd prefer to give you the straight talk, where we tell you all the information up front, and you make the decision on what vehicle and payment you want. You won't need bifocals to read the fine print here. Dick Edwards, serving the Manhattan, Fort Riley, and Junction City areas for over 30 years.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
The World Health Organization further explained its position on meat consumption following the International Agency for Research on Cancer report. WHO issued a public statement after receiving a number of inquiries and expressions of concern. In the statement, WHO admitted the latest IARC review does not ask people to stop eating processed meats, but indicates reducing consumption of these products can reduce the risk of colorectal cancer. WHO on Twitter suggested meat provides a number of essential nutrients and, when consumed in moderation, has a place in a healthy diet. National Beef Checkoff staff submitted 6 sets of comments based on scientific studies during IARC's review process. When the agency's conclusions were published, meat industry spokespersons from the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, North American Meat Institute, Kansas Livestock Association, Kansas Beef Council, and other groups responded to conventional media and engaged with consumers through social media. These industry sources continue to remind consumers it is unrealistic to isolate a single food as a cause or cure for cancer. Foods are consumed together, not in isolation, making it difficult to determine risk. Early next year, a standing group of diet and health experts from the WHO will begin looking at the place of processed meat and red meat within the context of an overall healthy diet. Beef industry sources will provide science-based input when appropriate through the process.
Hi, I'm Brian Holder with Paragon Ag. Harvest for row crop is well on its way, and so far weather has been conducive for a reasonable pace. Production yield numbers have varied, but overall we're seeing strong results in most areas. The grain markets have remained range-bound over the past several weeks. Corn did rally 30 cents off its lows, trading at $3.90 on the December contract last week, and I would anticipate for the next couple of months a sideways trade that may be limited to $4 as the upside of that range. Beyond the December timeframe, I look for prices on corn to improve on lower acres talk next year, both domestically and in South America. Likewise, soybeans have remained range-bound between $8.50 and $9. The next USDA monthly supply and demand report will be out Friday, October 9th. USDA's opinion on final yields will continue to be monitored closely, but the bearish headwind we currently face is in our export markets. For soybeans, exports are always front-loaded. We sell the most in the September to December timeframe as South American supplies become available after the first of the year. If we fall behind in this period, it's unlikely we'll catch up during the rest of the marketing year. Currently, we're about 28% behind last year's sales. Corn exports are also well behind the needed pace, but with corn, sales are more spread out throughout the entire marketing year. As prices have remained low and the near-term outlook uninspiring, marketing decisions remain difficult. If we can help clarify and answer questions on how to manage your sales, give us a call at 888-452-8751.
Closed captioning brought to you by Dick Edwards in Manhattan, selling America's #1 truck, the Ford F-150, for over 30 years. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. kansassoybeans.org.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Dick Edwards Auto Plaza in Junction City, home of this year's Motor Trend Truck of the Year, Ram Truck. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Well, that's our show for today. I hope you'll join us each week for more news and information about agriculture in the state of Kansas. I'm Brian Holman, and thanks for watching.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Tammy the Pro Home Plus is all about providing warmth and kindness to aging individuals who find it difficult to live on their own. Tammy's team is made up of experienced caregivers and nurses committed to the highest level of individualized care, focusing on health and well-being, and assisting with nutrition, grooming, medications, therapies, and daily living needs, all in a warm, caring environment. Call Tammy the Pro Home Plus today at 785-383-7094 to learn how we can help.